All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Valsa Williams and with me is Sarabjit Kaur. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with 15 remaining states and union territories to further discuss COVID-19 pandemic. Prime Minister says India amongst countries with least deaths due to coronavirus. Indian Army says 20 soldiers martyred in violent clashes with Chinese troops in Galwan area of Ladakh region, asserts Army firmly committed to protect territorial integrity and sovereignty of nation. Health Ministry scales up COVID-19 testing capacity to 3 lakh tests per day in the country. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Canadian counterpart emphasise to strengthen multilateral institutions, including WHO. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with Chief Ministers of 15 states and union territories through video conferencing on the second day today. The Prime Minister will discuss with them the emerging situation following the first phase of nationwide unlock and plan ahead for tackling the COVID-19 pandemic. The states and union territories include Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Delhi, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal, Karnataka, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, Haryana, Jammu and Kashmir, Telangana and Odisha. On the first day yesterday, the Prime Minister interacted with 21 states and union territories through video conferencing. During his interaction, the Prime Minister observed that timely decisions taken to combat the pandemic have been effective in containing its spread in the country. He said its early preparedness approach helped the country to chalk out measures to save many lives. Mr. Modi said when India's fight against COVID-19 will be analysed in the future, the time will be remembered for how the centre and states worked together to fight the pandemic. The Prime Minister said that they have presented an example for cooperative federalism to the world.
जब कभी भारत की कोरोना के खिलाफ लड़ाई का अध्ययन होगा तो ये दौर इसलिए भी याद किया जाएगा कि कैसे इस दौरान हमने साथ मिलकर के काम किया, कोऑपरेटिव फेडरलिज्म का सर्वोत्तम उदाहरण प्रस्तुत किया। कोरोना दुनिया के अनेक देशों में चर्चा का विषय भी नहीं बना था, तब भारत ने इससे निपटने के लिए तैयारियां शुरू कर दी थी, फैसले लेने शुरू कर दिए थे। हमने एक एक भारतीय की जिंदगी को बचाने के लिए दिन रात मेहनत की।
Mr. Modi said even a single loss of life due to coronavirus is saddening and the nation should not lower its guard even during the unlock. He urged every citizen to strictly follow all necessary precautions, including wearing masks, maintaining 2 gaz ki duri and washing hands regularly with soap. He said health experts the world over are praising the discipline shown by Indians, adding that the recovery rate in the country is now over 50%. He also noted that India is amongst the nations with the least deaths due to coronavirus.
दुनिया के बड़े बड़े एक्सपर्ट्स, हेल्थ के जानकार, लॉकडाउन और भारत के लोगों द्वारा दिखाए गए अनुशासन की आज भारी चर्चा हो रही है। आज भारत में रिकवरी रेट 50% से ऊपर चला गया है। आज भारत दुनिया के उन देशों में अग्रणी है जहां कोरोना संक्रमित मरीजों का जीवन बच रहा है।
The Prime Minister noted that due to the efforts of the past few weeks, several green shoots in the economy are visible which are encouraging the country to forge ahead. Mr. Modi highlighted the increased sale of fertilizers, larger year-on-year sowing of kharif crops and digital payments in the retail sector as the benchmarks. Mr. Modi emphasised the need to focus on both life and livelihood. He said on the one hand there is a need to boost health infrastructure with emphasis on testing and tracing. Economic activity will also need to be increased. The Prime Minister said the decisions need to be taken keeping in view both current needs and future requirements. He appealed to the Chief Ministers to turn the crisis into an opportunity. Mr. Modi said the views and experiences of all states and union territories will be discussed to strategize the future roadmap of the nation's fight against the global pandemic. The Chief Ministers thanked the Prime Minister for his leadership during such a challenging time and uniting the country in the collective fight against the virus.
The Indian Army has said that it is firmly committed to protect the territorial integrity and sovereignty of the nation. In a statement, the army said Indian and Chinese troops have disengaged at the Galwan area where they had earlier clashed on Monday night. 17 Indian troops who were critically injured in the line of duty at the standoff location and exposed to sub-zero temperatures in the high-altitude terrain have succumbed to their injuries. Earlier, during the de-escalation process, 1 officer and 2 soldiers were martyred, taking the total that were killed in action to 20. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh briefed Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the issue. In Telangana, people and leaders across the party lines paid tributes to martyred army officer Colonel Bikumal Santosh Babu, who made his supreme sacrifice for the country during a violent face-off with Chinese troops. The officer hailed from Suryapet town close to Hyderabad. The information about his martyrdom was conveyed to his wife Santoshi, who stays in Delhi, and parents who reside in Suryapet. According to defence authorities, Colonel B. Santosh Babu, commanding officer of the 16th Battalion of Bihar Regiment, was martyred in the standoff with Chinese troops at Galwan Valley in Ladakh on Monday night. The army officer is survived by wife, a 4-year-old son, and a 9-year-old daughter. The only son of retired bank manager Upinder and homemaker Manjula, he was due for transfer to Hyderabad in next few months. Grieving mother Manjula said they are shattered on losing their only son, but also feel proud that he sacrificed his life for the country.
Defense people also informed us. They said it was Santosh Babu. On one hand, I am shattered. On the other, happy that my son laid down his life for the country. As a mother grieving, he was only son for us.
The Telangana government has deputed a minister to be present at the state representative for receiving the mortal remains of the departed army officer until the completion of the funeral.
India has said on the late evening and night of the 15th of June a violent face-off happened as a result of an attempt by the Chinese side to unilaterally change the status quo there. Both sides suffered casualties that could have been avoided had the agreement at the higher level been scrupulously followed by the Chinese side. In response to media queries on the situation in the western sector of the India-China border, the MEA spokesperson Anurag Srivastava said, given its responsible approach to border management, India is very clear that all its activities are always within the Indian side of the LAC. He said India expected the same of the Chinese side. The spokesperson said India and China have been discussing through military and diplomatic channels the de-escalation of the situation in the border area in eastern Ladakh. Senior commanders had a productive meeting on the 6th of this month and agreed on a process for such de-escalation. Subsequently, ground commanders had a series of meetings to implement the consensus reached at a higher level. He said while it was New Delhi's expectation that this would unfold smoothly, the Chinese side departed from the consensus to respect the line of actual control LAC in the Galwan Valley. The spokesperson added that New Delhi remains firmly convinced of the need for the maintenance of peace and tranquility in the border areas and the resolution of differences through dialogue. At the same time, New Delhi is also strongly committed to ensuring India's sovereignty and territorial integrity.
Defence expert and director, Society for Policy Studies, Commodore C. Uday Bhaskar, has termed the loss of lives of soldiers along the line of actual control in the face-off with Chinese troops as a serious development. Talking to AIR News, Commodore Bhaskar said that while efforts are being made to diffuse the tension, the Indian response must be comprehensive, calibrated and resolute.
The loss of Indian Army lives along the line of actual control in the current face-off with Chinese troops is a serious development and a major setback to the uneasy India-China bilateral relationship. While efforts are being made to diffuse the tension, the Indian response must be comprehensive, calibrated and resolute. However, Indian restraint should not be mistaken for timidity. Concurrently, China's propaganda offensive must also be appropriately resisted.
BJP President JP Nadda has said the borders of India will remain intact under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He said during the de-escalation process that was underway in the Galwan Valley in Ladakh, a violent face-off took place with Chinese army. He added Indian army gave a befitting reply, but unfortunately the country has lost its army men. Paying homage to them for their sacrifice, Mr. Nadda assured that under the leadership of Mr. Modi, India's territorial integrity will not be compromised. The BJP president said they now have the political will and Indian Army is fully equipped to take on any adversary. Mr. Nadda said this while addressing Kerala Jan Samvad rally through video conferencing. The UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has expressed concern over reports of violence at the Line of Actual Control (LAC) between India and China. He urged both sides to exercise maximum restraint. UN spokesperson for the Secretary-General made the comments at the daily press briefing. Meanwhile, the United States has said that it is closely monitoring the situation between Indian and Chinese forces along the Line of Actual Control. The State Department spokesperson said the US was hoping for a peaceful resolution, also offered condolences to the bereaved families of the martyred soldiers.
The Union government has said the COVID-19 recovery rate has reached 52.46% in the country, and a total of 1,80,013 people affected by coronavirus have been cured in the country. Yesterday, 10,215 people have recovered from this infection. Presently, the total number of active corona cases in the country is 1,53,178. The Health and Family Welfare Ministry said 10,667 new cases of COVID-19 were reported in the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to 3,43,091 in the country. During the last 24 hours, 380 deaths were registered, taking the nationwide toll to 9,900. With this, the case fatality rate reached 2.88% in the country. Meanwhile, the Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, said a total of 1,54,935 tests of coronavirus were conducted by various laboratories in the country within the last 24 hours. Under the third phase of the Vande Bharat mission, 2 different flights carrying stranded Indians from Ukraine and Bangladesh arrived at Ahmedabad airport yesterday. Talking to AIR News, officials informed that the first such flight carrying around 144 Indians from Ukraine reached Ahmedabad yesterday morning, while another flight with around 46 passengers from Bangladesh also arrived at Ahmedabad airport last evening. All the passengers were screened at the airport and later quarantined by the state government for 14 days. Under the third phase of the Vande Bharat mission, a total of 31 flights have been scheduled for Gujarat, which will bring back Indians stranded in different countries during the COVID-19 pandemic.
In view of the pandemic, this year the International Yoga Day on 21st of June will be celebrated on digital media platforms and there would be no mass gatherings. This year's theme is Yoga at Home and Yoga with Family. Ministry of Ayush has also appealed to the people to join the world for the yoga performance on the occasion of 6th International Day of Yoga on 21st June at 7 a.m. from their homes. It said people should prepare for the yoga performance according to Common Yoga Protocol CYP. Ministry of Ayush, in association with Prasar Bharati, is also organizing a daily telecast of the Common Yoga Protocol on DD Bharati. The protocol sessions are being telecast daily in the morning from 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. The half-an-hour session will cover all the major aspects of the Common Yoga Protocol. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with 15 remaining states and union territories to further discuss COVID-19 pandemic. Prime Minister says India amongst countries with least deaths due to coronavirus. Indian Army says 20 soldiers martyred in violent clashes with Chinese troops in Galwan area of Ladakh region. Asserts Army finally committed to protect territorial integrity and sovereignty of nation. Health Ministry scales up COVID-19 testing capacity to 3 lakh tests per day in the country. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Canadian counterpart emphasize to strengthen multilateral institutions, including WHO. For quick news updates, round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
अपने साथ अपनों का ध्यान रखो, बड़े बुजुर्गों का तुम ध्यान रखो, तो बात करो, कुछ मदद करो, कोरोना के चलते निकलो तो मास्क पहनना, मास्क के पीछे मुस्कुराना। सुरक्षित दादा दादी नाना नानी अभियान, अपने साथ अपनों का ध्यान।
The Centre has asked states and union territories to proactively engage with private healthcare providers to facilitate enhanced bed availability and critical healthcare facilities. The Health Ministry said states have also been asked to ensure fair and transparent charges for the services being provided. Some states like Tamil Nadu, Odisha, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Telangana, Karnataka and Madhya Pradesh have already taken the initiative. These states have negotiated and reached an agreement with the private sector on reasonable rates and arrangements to provide critical care for COVID-19. The ministry said the country now has the capacity to test 3 lakh samples per day. The total number of samples tested thus so far is nearly 60 lakhs, with 1,54,935 samples tested in the last 24 hours. Our correspondent reports testing capacity is continuously being ramped up.
A network of 907 labs have been created so far in the country to test COVID-19 samples. This includes 659 labs in the government sector and 248 in private sector. In order to enhance the testing capacity in the national capital, each of the 11 districts of Delhi will now have assigned labs for exclusively testing the samples from these districts. The samples from each district are being sent to these labs to ensure timely testing and getting the results without any delay. Currently, there are 42 labs are functional in the national capital with per day testing capacity of around 17,000 samples. In its endeavor to make testing more affordable and increase the volume of testing, ICMR has also recommended the use of rapid antigen test kits for diagnosis of COVID-19 in containment zones and healthcare settings under strict medical supervision. With Saubhagyakar Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has directed officials to double the number of COVID beds in the districts under Meerut division. He has also directed district magistrates of all the 75 districts of the state to compulsorily and regularly inspect and review the hospital facilities in their areas so that better facilities can be provided to the people. Our correspondent has filed this report.
Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath said that the national capital region is highly sensitive in terms of higher number of COVID cases and the beds capacity of all hospitals should be doubled to deal with a further escalation in the cases. Additional Chief Secretary Home Avnish Awasthi said that the district magistrates and police have been asked to take all steps to contain the infection. Meanwhile, on 5th consecutive day, above 500 positive cases have been identified in state during last 24 hours. With 516 new cases, total number of positive cases in state has reached to 14,598. In Allahabad, the under-transfer SSP of the district has been found corona positive. A total of 8,904 patients have been recovered till date and 435 persons have succumbed to the infection. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
The coronavirus count in Madhya Pradesh rose to 11,069 with the addition of 134 new cases in the last 24 hours. Our Bhopal correspondent reports that 11 COVID-19 patients lost their lives during this period, taking the number of fatalities in the state to 476.
The remarkable thing is that till now 8,152 people have become cured in Madhya Pradesh. No new coronavirus case was reported in 31 districts yesterday. Bhopal reported 48 new cases followed by 21 in Indore, which is one of the COVID-19 hotspots in the country. The number of cases in Indore, the worst district in the state, rose to 4,090. The state capital Bhopal has so far reported 2,283 COVID-19 patients. Meanwhile, about 25,16,000 laborers are getting employment in about 2 lakh works under MG Narega in the state. The number has almost doubled since last year. New job cards have been provided to more than 8,38,000 laborers in the state under Shram Siddhi Abhiyan. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
In Jharkhand, 34 new cases of COVID-19 were reported in the last 24 hours. With this, the total number of people tested positive for COVID-19 in the state so far has reached 1,839, out of which 1,479 cases have been found positive in migrants. More from our correspondent.
Today, 76 people will reach Jharkhand under Vande Bharat mission from Bangladesh via New Delhi. So far, 390 foreign nationals have reached Jharkhand under Vande Bharat mission, out of which 21 have been found COVID-19 positive and 234 are under institutional quarantine. 17 people had come from Bhutan a day earlier via roads and were received at Pakur district. A total of 1,122 people have won the battle against COVID-19 in the state, improving the recovery rate to 61%. So far, 1,10,813 samples have been tested in the state. Shilpi, AIR News, Ranchi.
In Gujarat, 524 fresh cases of COVID-19 were reported from 19 districts in the last 24 hours, taking the total tally to 24,628. Our correspondent reports that the situation in Ahmedabad remains alarming as a total of 332 cases and 21 deaths were reported from the district alone.
Out of the 524 fresh cases, 332 cases have been reported from Ahmedabad district alone, which is the worst affected in the state. With this, the COVID-19 cases in Ahmedabad has increased to 17,299. Similarly, death toll in the district has also climbed to 1,231. State Health Department said at present there are around 6,000 patients undergoing treatment for COVID-19 at various hospitals in the state, of which 64 patients are on ventilator and in critical condition. After Ahmedabad, Diamond City, Surat and Vadodara reported the highest number of cases. Aparna Khund, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
In Maharashtra, the coronavirus tally has risen to 1,13,445 after a spike of 2,701 new cases. The state's health department has informed that 81 people died due to the disease in the last 24 hours, while 1,328 fatalities, which were not reported earlier, have been added to the toll. More from our correspondent.
Maharashtra's Health Minister Rajesh Tope informed that the number of cured COVID-19 patients is higher than the number of patients undergoing treatment in the state. The patient recovery rate is 50.99%. He said that at present there are 55 government and 42 private laboratories in the state for diagnosis, while 5,86,868 people are currently placed under home quarantine. 27,242 others are in institutional quarantine. Meantime, Maharashtra's Home Minister Anil Deshmukh informed that the state police has registered over 1.30 lakh offences related to violation of lockdown norms, leading to arrest of over 26,000 people and seizure of 82,344 vehicles. Madhuri Pange, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Tamil Nadu, 1,515 new cases of COVID-19 were reported yesterday. With this, the total number of people tested corona positive in the state so far has gone up to 48,019. Our correspondent has filed this report.
The Madras High Court has permitted the judges in the subordinate courts in Chennai and its 3 adjoining districts to work from home during the forthcoming full lockdown. The number of COVID-19 cases in Chennai and parts of Chengalpattu, Kanchipuram and Tiruvallur districts keeps swelling to new highs. Therefore, the Tamil Nadu government has announced a full lockdown in the region from the 19th to the end of this month to reduce the intensity of the viral spread. Keeping this in view, the Madras High Court Administrative Committee consisting of senior judges met yesterday. In the meeting, it has been decided to permit all the judicial officers except those presiding over the special courts to work from home. In such courts, it has also been permitted to curtail the attendance of the supporting staff. Jai Singh, AIR News, Chennai.
In our series Experts Speak on All India Radio, we bring you views of leading medical experts on COVID-19. Talking to AIR News, Director at AIIMS, Delhi, Dr. Randeep Guleria advised people to strictly follow social distancing and hand hygiene norms to check the spread of COVID-19 infection.
अगर हम ये लॉकडाउन एग्रेसिवली फॉलो करें, स्पेशली जो हॉट स्पॉट्स हैं, उसमें हम ये देखें कि सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग, क्वारंटाइन हम पूरी तरह से करते हैं और सब लोग इसमें भागीदारी करते हैं, तो हमारे केसेस जो हैं वो बढ़ेंगे नहीं, आस्ता आस्ता कर्व फ्लैटन होगा और केसेस कम होने शुरू होंगे.
Dr. Rakesh Garg of AIIMS, Delhi, said the spread of COVID-19 infection takes place through a person having a travel history as well as from those who have come in contact with the infected person.
सबसे ज्यादा मायने वाली चीज ये रखती है कि हम कोविड-19 की सस्पिशन उस पर ज्यादा डिपेंड करेंगे अगर उसकी कुछ ऐसी जगह से ट्रेवल की हिस्ट्री है जहां पर पॉजिटिव केसेस थे, एंडेमिक एरिया था, या फिर उनका ऐसे कांटेक्ट हुआ है किसी पेशेंट से जो ऑलरेडी पॉजिटिव था, ये सस्पेक्ट था, या फिर ऐसे पेशेंट की जो देखभाल कर रहा है जो कि पॉजिटिव है, ये सस्पेक्ट है। तो अगर ये हिस्ट्री पॉजिटिव है और साथ में सिम्टम्स भी हैं तो उसमें चांसेस कोविड-19 के होने के रहते हैं।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Canadian counterpart Justin Trudeau have emphasized the need to strengthen multilateral institutions, including the World Health Organization, WHO. Prime Minister Modi yesterday spoke on phone with the Canadian Prime Minister. During their telephonic conversation, the two leaders agreed to work together closely at various international fora on health, social, economic and political issues. The leaders updated each other about the evolving situation related to COVID-19 pandemic in India and Canada. They also discussed possibilities of international collaboration to address the health and economic crisis.
The head of the World Health Organization, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, has said that more than 1 lakh confirmed cases of coronavirus have been reported worldwide each day over the past 2 weeks, while it took more than 2 months for the first 1 lakh cases to be reported. He said that almost 75% of recent cases have been reported from 10 countries, mostly in America and South Asia. The southwest monsoon has further advanced into some more parts of West Madhya Pradesh, most parts of East Madhya Pradesh and some more parts of East Uttar Pradesh. Ministry of Earth Sciences in a statement said that scattered heavy to very heavy rainfall and isolated extremely heavy falls over Konkan and Goa and isolated heavy to very heavy falls over Madhya Maharashtra is expected during next 2 days. The rainfall intensity over East India is also likely to increase, and isolated heavy to very heavy rainfall is expected over the region up to 19th of this month.
A look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi will witness a minimum temperature of 29 degrees and maximum of 43 degrees Celsius. The sky will be partly cloudy with possibility of development of thunder and lightning. Mumbai will witness generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Minimum and maximum temperature will hover between 26 and 32 degrees Celsius. On to the north, in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, minimum temperature will be 26 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while maximum will be around 42 degrees. The city will observe mainly clear sky. In Srinagar, temperature will be between 14 and 31 degrees Celsius. In Gilgit, temperature will hover between 13 and 32 degrees Celsius, with sky becoming mainly clear and becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. In Muzaffarabad, the sky will be mainly clear, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The city will witness minimum temperature of 21 degrees Celsius, while maximum temperature will be around 38 degrees. Kolkata will witness generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature in the metropolis will be 26, while maximum will be around 32 degrees Celsius. In the south, Chennai will see generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. The face-off at the LAC is the focus in most newspapers today. Indian-Chinese officials meet as violent border clash leads to casualties on both sides, writes the Hindu Business Line. China stabs Indian back, 20 soldiers martyred is the lead in the Pioneer. China's bid to change LAC status quo led to clash, the Asian Age quotes the MEA. In a first meeting with Chief Ministers post-Unlock 1, PM focus is economy, notes the Indian Express. COVID deaths low, green shoots in economy, the Hindustan Times quotes PM Modi. Want relief in case? Give PPEs to hospitals, Delhi High Court tells Builder. The Times of India states, if errant litigants were earlier asked to plant trees, they are now being made part of the fight against COVID-19 by the Delhi High Court. Scientists hail inexpensive drug as major breakthrough, notes the Financial Express. The Business Standard terms it as the drug that boosts COVID survival chance. Low cost, widely used steroid dexamethasone is the first to show life-saving promise.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with 15 remaining states and union territories to further discuss COVID-19 pandemic. Prime Minister says India amongst countries with least deaths due to coronavirus. Indian Army says 20 soldiers martyred in violent clashes with Chinese troops in Galwan area of Ladakh region, asserts Army firmly committed to protect territorial integrity and sovereignty of the nation. Health Ministry scales up COVID-19 testing capacity to 3 lakh tests per day in the country. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Canadian counterpart emphasized to strengthen multilateral institutions, including WHO. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. With that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.